Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
I think today's topic is something we all struggle with.
Oh, for sure.
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah,
These sneaky thoughts that hold us back without us even knowing it.
it's true.
Like, we're going to dig into this awesome episode of the Mindshift podcast
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
with mindset coach Jake Reynolds.
Yeah.
He breaks down how to spot and overcome these mental blocks.
Definitely.
It's like having a secret saboteur in your mind.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Jake helps us unmask it.
I like that.
So first things first, what exactly are limiting beliefs?
Well, there are these thoughts that we kind of tell ourselves that trap us in self-doubt
Right.
and keep us from achieving our goals.
Like what kind of thoughts?
Oh, classic ones like, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm not
Right.
worthy, that sort of thing.
I've definitely had those thoughts.
Oh, we all have. We all have.
It's so easy to get stuck in those negative patterns.
It is. And Jake actually starts by sharing his own story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about how he used to believe he wasn't meant for big things. All because of messages he got as a kid.
Wow. I bet a lot of people can relate to that.
Oh, absolutely. It's so common.
Yeah, it's crazy how those early experiences shape our mindset.
It's true. They can really have a lasting impact.
So how do we even start to uncover these limiting beliefs that are holding us back?
Well, Jake has this great suggestion. He says journaling can be super helpful,
Oh, yeah, journaling.
but not just like any journaling.
Mhm.
It's about really paying attention to your thoughts and catching those negative ones
Yeah.
as they come up.
So like actually writing down, I can't do this or I'm not good enough
Exactly. It's amazing how often we say these things to ourselves.
without even realizing it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they're on autopilot.
So once we start to notice these thoughts,
Right.
how do they actually impact our lives?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Jake talks about this idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know how our thoughts can actually create our reality?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like our thoughts are like a mirror
Okay.
reflecting our beliefs back at us,
Got it.
and then we act accordingly.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
Precisely, negative thoughts lead to negative actions,
Right.
which then reinforce those negative thoughts.
Oh, I see. So it just keeps going round and around.
Exactly, it's a feedback loop.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's take the fear of public speaking, for example.
Okay.
If you believe I'm a terrible public speaker,
Yeah,
you're probably gonna avoid public speaking situations.
totally would.
And because you're avoiding it,
Right.
you never get the chance to practice and get better.
Oh, it's so true.
So the fear just grows stronger.
And the belief becomes the reality.
Yep, that's the self-fulfilling prophecy in action.
So we need to break that cycle somehow.
We do, and Jake talks about this idea of reframing
Reframe.
these limiting beliefs.
What's reframing?
It's basically creating a new narrative. Instead of letting those negative thoughts control us,
Okay.
we choose a different story.
Like we rewrite the script.
That's a great way to put it.
Cool.
So let's say your limiting belief is, I'm not smart enough to start a business.
Ooh, yeah, that's a common one.
It is. What if you reframe that to, I'm capable of learning the skills I need to run a successful business?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a subtle shift,
Right.
but it makes a huge difference.
I see that.
Instead of focusing on what you lack,
Yeah.
you're emphasizing your potential.
I like that a lot.
That's powerful.
But it's got to be hard to make those new beliefs stick, right?
It can be, especially at first.
You might feel like you're faking it.
That's totally normal.
So what do you do?
Well, Jake says to focus on small wins.
Small wins.
Yeah, these are those little achievements
Yeah.
that help reinforce that new positive belief.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Like going back to the public speaking example,
Yeah.
a small win could be speaking up more in meetings or volunteering to present to a small group.
So you're building confidence little by little.
Exactly. You're proving to yourself that the old belief isn't true.
That's a great strategy.
It is, and it works.
So all this talk about limiting beliefs
Mhm.
makes you wonder where they even come from.
That's a great question.
Like, why are we so prone to these negative thought patterns?
Well, Jake points out that they often stem from our past.
Our past.
Things we were told as kids.
Okay.
Societal messages we've absorbed.
That makes sense.
You know, those seemingly harmless comments
Mhm.
can actually have a big impact.
I remember hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees. Or you're not creative.
Yes, kinds of things.
Yeah. And they probably stuck with us more than we realized.
They often do, planting those seeds of doubt.
Wow. So overcoming these beliefs is about reprogramming those old messages.
In a way, yes, it's about challenging those ingrained patterns.
Okay. So how do we reprogram them?
Well, there are a couple of powerful techniques Jake recommends.
Almost.
Daily affirmations and visualization.
I've heard of affirmations.
Yeah.
But how do they actually work?
So you start by identifying the limiting belief you want to change.
Okay.
Then you create a positive statement that directly counters that belief.
Like an antidote to the negative thought.
Exactly. So if your limiting belief is, I don't deserve success, your affirmation could be, I am deserving of success and capable of achieving it.
Oh, I like that.
The key is repetition.
Repetition.
You repeat this affirmation daily.
Got it.
To rewire your thinking.
Like you're training your brain to believe it.
Exactly. It's like planting a seed and nurturing it.
Until it takes root.
Exactly. And visualization can be a powerful tool too.
What's visualization?
It's about creating a mental picture of yourself succeeding.
Ooh, I like that.
You imagine yourself embodying that new belief.
Okay.
It's like a mental rehearsal.
So you're preparing your mind for success.
That's it. You're helping your subconscious mind accept this new reality.
It's fascinating how our minds work.
It really is. But let's be real.
Okay.
Overcoming limiting beliefs isn't always easy.
I know. It can be tough.
We're going to face setbacks.
For sure.
It's part of the process.
So what happens when we stumble?
Well, those old beliefs might try to creep back in.
Oh, yeah, I can see that happening.
That's when it's crucial to remember.
What's that?
Setbacks are inevitable.
They are.
But they're also valuable learning opportunities.
Learning opportunities.
Exactly. So when you hit a roadblock, don't get discouraged. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this?
Oh, that's good advice.
It's about shifting our perspective.
Instead of seeing it as a failure.
Exactly. We see it as a stepping stone.
Okay, I like that a lot.
It's a powerful shift.
And before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
yes,
I want to touch on something Jake mentioned.
What's that?
Community.
Oh, yes. So
having that support network, people who believe in you, can make all the difference.
Yeah, it's like having your own personal cheer squad.
Exactly. It's so helpful to have people in your corner.
It really is. It can make the journey a lot easier.
So true.
And more fun.
Definitely.
So surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Great advice.
Thanks. Having people who lift you up makes a huge difference.
For sure. And, you know, it reminds me of something else Jake said about patience.
Oh, yeah. Patience is key.
And self-compassion.
Totally.
It's easy to beat ourselves up when those old beliefs resurface.
It really is. We're often our own worst critics.
True. But Jake reminds us that this is a journey, not a quick fix.
It's not like flipping a switch.
Right. Change takes time and effort.
It's like learning a new skill, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to be a concert pianist overnight.
No way.
It takes practice and dedication.
And you have to be okay with making mistakes.
Exactly. Those mistakes are how we learn and grow.
It's all part of the process.
It is, and that's where self-compassion comes in.
I see that.
We need to be kind to ourselves when we stumble.
Because every time we challenge those old beliefs, we're growing.
Even if it doesn't feel like it at the time.
Right. It's those little steps that add up over time.
They really do.
You know, thinking about all this makes me wonder about some common limiting beliefs people might be struggling with.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely some that come up a lot.
Like, I feel like a lot of people think they're not creative enough.
That's a big one. And, you know, it often goes back to those early experiences.
Like maybe someone told you weren't good at art or something.
Exactly. And that message just stuck with you.
It's so easy to internalize those messages.
It is. And then we start comparing ourselves to others.
Ugh. Comparison is the thief of joy.
So true. We get caught in this trap of self-doubt.
And that's where reframing comes in, right?
Exactly. Instead of focusing on what you perceive as a lack of creativity, what if you acknowledge your unique strengths?
Okay, so instead of, I'm not creative.
You could say, I'm still exploring my creative potential.
Ooh, I like that.
Or you could highlight ways you are creative.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a great problem solver.
Or you're really good at coming up with new ideas.
Exactly. Creativity comes in many forms.
Totally. It's about broadening our definition of creativity.
And recognizing that it exists in all of us.
I love that.
Another common one is the fear of failure.
Oh man, that's a big one.
So many people hold themselves back because they're terrified of making mistakes.
It can be paralyzing.
It can, but remember what Jake said.
Yeah.
Setbacks are inevitable.
They're part of life.
And they're actually valuable learning opportunities.
So it's about changing our mindset.
Right. Instead of seeing failure as a bad thing,
we see it as a stepping stone.
Exactly. We need to embrace the idea that mistakes are part of the process.
It's like that saying, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Ah, I love that.
Sometimes those broken eggs lead to amazing things.
They really do.
Okay, so practically speaking, how do we overcome that fear of failure?
Well, one thing is to start small. instead of tackling this huge, daunting project.
Or break it down.
Exactly, into smaller, more manageable steps.
It makes it less overwhelming.
Right, and as you achieve those smaller goals, you build momentum and confidence.
Like training for a marathon.
Exactly, you wouldn't start by running 26 miles.
No way, you build up to it gradually.
And remember, having a supportive community can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, those cheerleaders in your corner.
They can really help you stay motivated and push through those fears.
That's like having a safety net.
Exactly. You know, even if you stumble.
They'll be there to catch you.
So important to cultivate those relationships.
They really are. And speaking of support,
Yes.
as we wrap up this part of the deep dive,
Okay.
I think it's important to emphasize that you have the power to change your beliefs.
You're not stuck.
You're not a prisoner to those negative thoughts.
Exactly. You have the ability to choose a different story.
It's about recognizing that we're in control of our mindset.
Powerful stuff. And remember, be patient with yourself.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Enjoy the process.
Celebrate those small wins.
Embrace those setbacks.
Keep moving forward.
You got this.
I'm telling you, I'm ready to tackle some of my limiting beliefs after that.
Me too. It's amazing how all these techniques we talked about connect back to that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right, like what we believe really shapes our actions.
If you believe you can achieve great things, you're more likely to put in the effort.
But if we believe we're limited, well,
We might hold ourselves back without even realizing it.
it's like our beliefs are a filter.
Yeah, a filter that can either help us or hinder us.
So how do we make sure that filter's working for us?
One way is to cultivate what's called a growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard that term before.
It's this idea that you can always learn and grow.
Instead of being stuck with a fixed amount of talent,
Exactly.
so you see challenges as opportunities.
And setbacks as learning experiences.
And if you get a bad grade.
Someone with a growth mindset might think, okay, how can I improve next time?
But someone with a fixed mindset might think, I'm just not good at this.
And give up.
Interesting. So how do we cultivate a growth mindset?
One thing is to focus on the process,
Not just the outcome.
right? Enjoy the journey.
And realize that growth is ongoing.
It's a continuous process.
And I think embracing feedback is important too,
Absolutely. Feedback is so valuable.
even if it's tough to hear.
It's information that helps us learn.
It's a gift.
I like that.
So it sounds like overcoming limiting beliefs is a constant process.
It is. It's not a one-time thing.
Like tending a garden
You have to keep weeding out those negative thoughts.
and nurturing the positive ones.
I love that analogy.
Our minds need that care.
Speaking of which, what are some daily practices we can use?
Well, we've talked about affirmations and visualization
Those are great for reprogramming our minds,
and gratitude.
focusing on what we're thankful for,
Right. Gratitude can shift our perspective.
and mindfulness.
Paying attention to the present moment.
It helps us observe our thoughts without judgment,
Creating that space between our thoughts and reactions.
so we can choose how to respond.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
I agree, we've covered a lot of ground.
From understanding limiting beliefs to practical techniques.
And that growth mindset.
Any final thoughts?
Remember, you are capable of amazing things.
Don't let those limiting beliefs hold you back.
You have so much potential.
And you're not alone on this journey.
There's support out there.
So go out there, challenge those beliefs.
And create a life you love.
It's an adventure.
Embrace it.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.